Alright, look. Today, today we're gonna do a video on the minority complex. Basically, the minority complex is a situation that a kid has or a younger individual has, where they think they're over certain individuals, right? Basically, the empowering of the ego to lack discipline, in education, right? So basically, you can be at a job, you can be working a construction job, you could give somebody advice, right? You could give somebody advice on a situation that you see is probably gonna escalate to an effect, right? Meaning meaning you try to educate somebody before something bad happens, right? So in that process of you educating somebody before something bad happens, they don't listen to you. They indeed say, "Okay, I know what I'm doing. Let me do my work." Then you let them do their work, and then the very thing that you wanted to stop, it happens to them, right? That's a form of ego, right? So that's a form of ego. Hence the minority complex. Now, what do I mean by the minority complex? Basically you can be telling your kid advice. You can be telling your kid anything, and they still don't listen because they feel like they know more than you do. So indeed, just like I said before, the very thing that you wanted to stop them from doing, it indeed happens to them. So now they, so now that kind of that that rebellion process, it starts to fuel up, and some kids don't listen. Some kids don't ever listen. Some kids will end up in juvenile or whatever, etc., because their ego has taken over their whole mind frame to the point where they won't listen to any authority, right? So you got the disregard for adult authority, which we just talked about. You got the overestimation of one's knowledge or experience. Basically, you can be coaching somebody on something. You can be coaching somebody on something, and their response is, "Oh, I don't need to know that. Oh, I already know that. What you're saying is nothing to me." Basically, they're taking what you're saying and bringing it down to lesser terms. But indeed, the very thing that you told the kid has high levels to it that they cannot comprehend, which is why they demoralize it. They demoralize it. They try to bring the stature of it down, right, to fit their criteria. Okay, so it's another one. Confusion between attention and respect, right? So you have attention and you got respect. You got somebody who wants attention and you got somebody who wants respect. What's the difference? Attention. What's the difference? Attention. You're seeking validation. You're seeking validation. Respect. You're doing what you do based off of how you feel. Based off of how you feel, not based off of anybody else's experiences, based off your own experiences. Then you got performance. Then you got performative confidence to mask insecurity, right? This is something that females do, right? So you got the confidence over the insecurity, meaning meaning you can be insecure about something, meaning you can be insecure about something, but meaning meaning you can be insecure about something. So in that moment where you're insecure about something, you tend to become overconfident to over excel the insecurity, so it doesn't hit you as hard as it will when you're discussing it. But in reality, it's still gonna hit you. It's just not hitting you where you feel it. And we had a discussion about this a while back, right? About let's replace let's replace the insecurity with fear, right? This is fear. This is fear. You got people who jump over their fears, and indeed the fear is still there. You got people who jump over their fears, but that's not the right way. You should stand on top of your fears and let your fear drop down gradually. Let it gradually drop. You'll see a decline, and then you just continuously move on. You continuously move on. That's how you're supposed to do it. Now, with the females, you got females doing that as well, right? You got females masking overconfidence with insecurity. So basically, maybe they can be insecure about anything, right? Maybe they're insecure about whatever the case may be. Maybe they're insecure about whatever the case may be. So indeed, to get over that, instead of doing right, instead of them actually doing the necessary work to get rid of it completely, they intend to jump over it. They intend to jump over it. And when somebody mentions it, look, y'all, this is the fear. This is the fear. You steady jumping over your fear. Then when somebody mentions it, guess what it does? It creeps on back up in here. It creeps on back to you. So let's basically everything we just talked about, right? Why does it happen? Overexposure to adult-like content, right? Social media, TV, etc., right? Lack of clear boundaries or guidance from authority figures. A culture that celebrates youth over wisdom. Meaning you have some people who celebrate, meaning you have some people who you got some people who like the fact that, okay, kids who you got some people who like the fact that kids aren't fully intelligent. Kids are being kids. Kids will do kid things, so they celebrate those things, right? In return, you will get an outcome that you wasn't ready for, right? So here's another one: parental fear of being too strict or being disliked. You got some parents who put two. You got some parents who try to divide those two, right? With being too strict and being disliked, right? But honestly, bro, when you're a parent, why are you worried about your child liking you? Right? This isn't high school. You're not a kid. So at some point, the parents also have to excel their minds and get out of that complex. Now you also have a minority complex and you have an adult complex, right? So we'll talk about the adult complex in another video. I'm gonna post it right after this one. But parental fear of being too strict or being disliked. Why can't you just be in between? See, the thing about being too strict and disliked, if you in between, you don't fit in one of them categories. You don't fit in the strict category, nor do you fit in the dislike category. You fit in the balanced category. Balanced. That's what the goal is. Balance. Yeah, like I said, we're gonna talk about the adult complex in a separate video. But yeah, that's it. And I'm out.